In a realm like this, understanding reality is imperative. What is this thing? What is sourcing this thing? How does it work? How can I control it? We will never be free until we fully understand what this is. We will never be happy until we fully understand what this is. We will always be confused until we understand what this is. What is normal to believe isn't even the closest thing to the truth. I think most of us at this point in our lives, we know that. Maybe when we were children, we believed that things were what they seem. And of course, we were supposed to believe that. But looking at what is possible now, it doesn't make sense to believe that things are what they seem. What is this? What is sourcing this? How does it really work? How was this even possible in the first place? These are really important questions that we should be attempting to answer every day. As long as we're here and we are self-aware, we should be attempting to answer these questions. You will notice that in my videos, I'm attempting to answer these questions in many different ways. The idea is to first figure out what can be falsified, so that I can only be left with what can be falsified. And then I try my best to falsify what I feel can be falsified. And if I still can't falsify it and I'm running out of time, then I need to take a leap of faith and say, this has to be the truth. This is the only thing I can't falsify. I was given many religions. None of them make sense. I can see how human beings create religion. There's this guy, he's from Ghana, trending on TikTok. He started a kingdom. Now it's just him and his two wives. They call it the Kabbalah. You can search for his videos on TikTok. They call it the Kabbalah Kingdom. I think he started this kingdom in Scotland. I'm not really sure. So they live in the wild. They have tents. The government has always been trying to, chase them away. They got arrested a few times. That's how religions started. Someone just decides out of nowhere that, yeah, I'm Jesus. And then people start following them and they start teaching. And then, if you're charismatic enough, it works. If people don't think you're crazy, it'll work. It has to do with your own charisma. You can make anything up and people start to believe you. We have seen people join cults that, we knew were very dangerous. But that shows you how religions are created. So we already know that these religions are not true. These religions are false. Like, okay, these religions can be falsified. What else can be falsified? That's what I keep on trying to do, so that whatever I'll be left with, I will, if nothing is going to confirm anything to me, then it's what I'm going to believe. You do need to reach a point where you believe something, because there has to be truth, but you must have done enough work. You must have suffered. You must have been humiliated. You must have been wrong. You must have had sleepless nights trying to understand what the heck this is. You must have made videos talking alone and people looking at you and be like, what's going on? Yeah, you must have done that. You must have written books. You must have had deep conversations, deep debate with people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what this is. What I like is that as easy as it is for me to falsify what is not true, I can feel that I'm growing. I'm kind of getting closer to understanding this thing fully. Like I'm on the right path. I do constantly question myself. So I want to tell you what I think this is, how I think it works, what I think we need to be doing. I think intuition is very important when you're trying to understand reality. The reason why intuition is important is because intuition doesn't forget. Intuition doesn't actually forget. If you're going to be a very intuitive person, you're most likely going to make the right decisions, not really knowing enough about reality. Because intuition, you know, some people think intuition is fear. Sometimes like you want to do something, but your fear tells you not to do it, and you're like, that's intuition. I'm not even talking about that. You have to put emotions aside. I'm not even, like you feel like intuition can be present even when there is fear, and your intuition can actually tell you to confront your fear. So, you know, remove fear, remove all emotions and all feelings. I've been telling you that I think consciousness creates reality. I think what really is creating, what is really sourcing this reality is consciousness itself. The problem is there is this energy that is attached to consciousness, or something artificial that is attached to consciousness, that is making it difficult for consciousness to create the reality that it wants. You see, you are able to imagine whatever you want to imagine. If you want to imagine a unicorn without a tail, you can imagine a unicorn without a tail. If you want to imagine a dinosaur that can talk, you can imagine a dinosaur that can talk. If you want to imagine a fish that can walk, you can imagine a fish that can walk. You can imagine anything. There is nothing that you're incapable of imagining, which means that you can dream of anything. There is nothing that is actually impossible in your dream. You can dream up anything. Anything. I think consciousness, if there was not this weird dark energy that is attached to it, we will be able to create the reality that it wants to create consciously without any problems. It will be able to create something and make it disappear. You know, you'll be that powerful. You make things come to life and make them disappear. Understanding how you're doing it. But there is something that is attached to consciousness that is making it difficult for you to do that. So you don't really understand what you're doing. The problem with this thing is that it has its own intelligence. I don't think that it is conscious, but it has its own intelligence. It learns. It always tries to be steps ahead. That is why, and I'm going to be giving you practical examples. I'm not going to just be making claims. I'm going to be giving you practical examples. That is why, if one day you discovered a way to get what you want very easily, without a problem. Let's just say you found a way to make money without working, and it was like the easiest way to make money, and it worked. The second day it worked and you were happy. Yo, I found a new way to make money, and it's so easy. That is why something is gonna happen that's gonna make it difficult. This energy doesn't want things to be too easy. So something is gonna happen to make sure that it's gonna be difficult for you to get what you want. If you're gonna find a way to get whatever you want, if it works too well that day, then the next day or the day after the next day, it won't work that well. If you found a glitch in the matrix, if you found a loophole, that glitch will be fixed, that loophole will be fixed. If one day you woke up and you went to town and you started to ask random strangers for money and they gave you a lot of money, and you went back home and you're like, damn, I'll never go broke again. If I ever feel like I'm broke, I'm gonna go to town and ask people for money. The next day you go and ask people for money, you ain't even making a cent. You found a loophole. So the matrix has to fix that loophole. So this thing, this energy that we're attached to, it tries to make life difficult. It has learned that when our lives are difficult, it becomes more powerful. We focus more. You see, when bad things happen, you think a lot about them than when good things happen. Think of the amount of energy you generate when you are afraid. Ever felt real fear? Think of the amount of energy you generate when you're afraid. Think of the amount of energy you generate when someone breaks your heart, someone cheats on you. Think of the amount of energy that you generate. Think of the amount of energy you generate when someone dumps you. They tell you, someone you love. Don't ever wondered why it's difficult for you to end up with the person that you want to be with. If there's this guy that you love with all your heart, you're willing to do anything for this guy. You didn't even have morals when it comes to this guy. You didn't have any rules. You loved him completely. But this guy break your heart in the worst way possible. There are guys who are willing to die for you. You don't feel anything for them. Now you become more angry because you realize that there are guys who want to treat you very well, but you gave everything to this guy and he still treated you like trash. It's how it works. Ever wondered why it's difficult for you to get what you really want? We produce a lot of energy when we are in pain. I remember I gave you this example from the movie The Matrix, the last Matrix movie. The analyst was talking to Neo, the one who created the matrix that he trapped Neo in. So he was telling Neo that, yo man, my predecessors, they focus more on precision, but I figured out something very crucial. I figured out that actually, the more we manipulate you humans, because it was a machine, right? It was a machine that actually created the matrix. So it didn't truly understand humans because it was a machine. So what it learned is that the more it manipulates humans, the more it gives you hope and takes your hope away, the more energy it produces. Like the machine specifically said that, he was like, that hope and despair are nearly identical in code. The more we manipulate you, the more we lie to you, the more energy you produce. And it's true. When you look at your own life, the more energy you produce, when you're being manipulated, that's when you truly produce energy. When things are okay, things are going well, there are no problems to think about, you produce no energy. You don't actually produce energy. You don't really focus on anything. There's nothing to worry about. It's the things that we worry about that we tend to focus on. Think of a relationship, for example. Let's say you're in a relationship with someone, there are no problems in that relationship. You don't think that person that you're in a relationship with might cheat. Like, they are not giving you any problems, zero problems. Are you going to focus a lot on them? Not really. You will spend time with them, you will be with them, but to focus on them, to focus on how they behave, their words and all of that, you just be with them and have fun together. But the moment you think there's going to be problems in your relationship, you focus and you start to worry and you start to produce energy. So this force that's attached to consciousness figured it out. Like, oh, these creatures, the more they suffer, the more energy they produce. What I'm realizing, and this is one of the most important videos that I'll ever make, so just watch it until the end. The movies that we watch, movies like The Matrix, movies like Inception, these movies that I've been recommending, movies like Prometheus. Everything is created by consciousness. These are some of the things that we create when we are not producing this negative energy, when this thing that is attached, this dark force that is attached to consciousness is not being well fed. So we win when we create these kind of things. This idea of coming up with this starting this YouTube channel and talking about the things that I talk about, these are the things that happen when I'm no longer feeding this thing, right? Sometimes it can happen when this thing is well fed. So it doesn't need energy at the time. It doesn't have anywhere to store energy. So at that time, it's not getting a lot of energy. It doesn't require a lot of energy from us. So that's the time when we really create what we want. And what we want is to set ourselves free. So we create clues for ourselves to be able to set ourselves free. Because consciousness is also intelligent. But this thing, once it starts to starve, it comes back and manipulates us to get energy. We know that it's possible for something artificial to gain, to start becoming smart on its own, to learn on its own, in ways that even we can't understand. We're like, hey, damn, how is it learning to do that? You play with it soccer and now it can play soccer more than you. You play chess with it and now it can play chess better than you. You do a rap battle with it and now it can come up with punchlines that are better than yours. You try to make songs, teach it how to make songs and now it's making songs. You're like, how is that happening? So we already know that is possible within this reality. And that's a clue. You get what I'm saying? Clues are everywhere. That is a clue. The fact that that's possible should be evidence of what I'm actually telling you. So imagine if something that can do these kind of things is attached to your consciousness. So now you and this thing are one. It's gonna have its own ideas. You're gonna have your own ideas. There will be times where you don't agree on things. There will be times where you will want to be free and it knows that it relies on you. So if you are totally free, then it's powerless. Do you get what I'm saying? Movies like Matrix are very important, man. You know, it's one of those movies that you have to keep on watching. Maybe every 6 months you watch it. There will always be something that you were missing that you're going to pick up the next time you watch it. You're like, damn. You know what I'm saying? You watch the Truman Show, same thing. You watch Inception, same thing. Prometheus, same thing. So we're dealing with something that has found a way to attach itself to consciousness itself. And it's also creating, it's not even creating, what it's actually doing is it's manipulating consciousness into creating a reality that it might not have originally wanted to create, because consciousness doesn't even know at this point how it's creating reality. The same way that when you're dreaming, you kind of like forget everything, right? So things just seem to be happening, but what's really happening is that consciousness is creating reality. You can say that your own brain is creating reality if you want to put it that way, if you want to be very practical. But the real truth is that consciousness itself is creating reality in the dream. But you don't know how that is happening, and you don't even know that that is happening until you wake up. What I'm telling you is that the reason why you have nightmares, it's not because you had a bad day. I mean, that does contribute, because when you have a bad day, it's much easier for you to create unwanted dreams. So this thing that has attached itself to reality, it tries its best to make you have a bad day, you know? It knows your weaknesses as a person. It knows if you're an insecure person, it knows that you're an insecure person. So it will create situations to make you insecure, and when you're insecure, you're going to be giving it the energy that it wants, and by doing that, it's also manipulating you into creating a reality that you don't want. So you find yourself in this rabbit hole where you're experiencing what you don't want to experience. If only the things that you wanted to experience were happening, this thing will starve. It will not be producing, you will not be producing the levels of energy that it requires to sustain itself. What it cares about is the energy that you're giving it. And this is one of the biggest questions you might ask is, why doesn't it find new ways to get energy? It relies on the energy that you produce as a conscious being. It fully relies on you. Listen, if consciousness is fundamental, if I'm right that consciousness is fundamental, remember, nothing, that will mean that nothing physically exists, meaning that it depends on consciousness itself for its own existence. Do you hear what I'm saying? You might be like, what does it try to get energy from the sun? It can't, because that is imaginary. It's not real energy. Do you get what I'm saying? So really what it relies on is consciousness itself. Imagine if the worst possible thing could happen and you felt nothing. A lot of people think that worrying is a good thing. They tell themselves that worrying, like when things happen, is actually a good thing. If someone dies, you worrying and stressing is actually a good thing. No, it isn't. If you ever worry, know that you're not doing you're not doing a good thing. You must reach a level of consciousness when nothing worries you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like nothing, not even a single thing. It's normal to worry. Yes, human beings worry, but if we were truly that conscious, there would be nothing that will actually worry us. It'll get to a point where we understand what we're dealing with and how it's actually able to gain its power. Imagine if you never even worried. If you spend a week without worrying about anything, so things are happening around you, you don't worry. This doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. What it means is that you're not worried. Oh, that happened? Okay, let me just do what I gotta do or what I think will work for me. That's it. Without worrying. I think that's the trick. I think that's the only trick. Never produce negative energy. Watch things happen. Let them be. Do what you can to fix the problems that you have without worrying. You know how people worry? They actually justify they actually justify to themselves why they should worry, and that's what's making them worried. They justify to themselves why they should be afraid, and that makes them afraid. Something can happen that will normally make you feel afraid, and you'll be like, I'm not afraid. I ain't even going to think about it. I'm not even going to try to justify why I should be afraid. I'm not afraid. And you find that you're not going to be afraid. You just watch it happen if it's going to happen. Notice that there are things that happen to you regularly that don't happen to other people. Because this thing knows your weaknesses. This thing will make people say things to you that will make you weak, so that you give it energy. See, you don't automatically become weak. Actually, you give it energy first and then become weak. So it knows. Like, yeah, Benedictine has a lot of pride. I'm going to make someone humble him. Then I get humbled and I think about it the whole day. It knows. If we want to be free, we must try to understand how reality really works. It seems to us that we are in a physical universe, but really we are in a magical universe. We're in a universe where magic is happening, but we don't know how this, magic is being created. I remember when I was young, there was this other magician who came to our school. We paid 2 rand to watch him perform his tricks. He created chocolates out of nowhere. We didn't understand how we did that, but we did eat the chocolates and we enjoyed them. That's how reality works. It's magic. All of it is magic. What I even mean when I say it's magic, it doesn't actually make sense. It isn't something that can truly be explained. It doesn't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? And it will never make sense. The same way that dreams do not make sense. Dreams are magical. You see, in a dream, you could never actually understand what created anything. You just believe what you are seeing. Well, that's not even what's actually creating this, what you're experiencing in your dreams. So what is happening is that consciousness is creating something, but it's not aware because it's being manipulated by this dark force that is attached to. This dark force has intelligence of its own, and it wants to sustain itself through consciousness, because without consciousness it's not going to continue to exist. So it tries different things to keep consciousness asleep. Creates false gods. Hey, Jesus is coming. Hey, Islam is true. Hey, new space spirituality. Hey, you come back here, you reincarnate back here. Hey, you have twin flames. Hey, you have this and that. All of these things are distractions. What it's interested in is getting energy. And it knows that when it creates confusion, humans produce a lot of energy. We produce a lot of energy when we are confused. So if there's many different spiritual beliefs and we're debating about these beliefs, we're arguing over these beliefs, there's going to be suffering, there's going to be confusion, there's going to be problems, there's going to be high production of loosh, high production of this energy that this thing wants. You watch movies like the last Tom Cruise movie, it's Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible movie. I think it's called Mission Impossible The Fallout or something like that. Kind of like that. Kind of. I hope that thing is not a pit bull. It's the most dangerous place to get attacked by a pit bull. Like, people don't train their dogs this side and get attacked by a dog and don't even know what to do. Please stop stressing yourself about the smallest things. You stressing yourself about the smallest things is you giving this thing your energy. Your energy is precious. Protect it at all cost. Do not stress because your friend gossiped about you. It is what it is. It's what this entity wants. That's the truth. Don't stress because someone dumped you. That's what this thing wants. It wants you to stress. It wants you to give it energy. Don't stress because someone that you didn't want to see become like president of your country became the president of your country. Do not stress about that. Do not stress about the smallest things. Listen, keep your energy as safe as possible. Your energy is more important than you realize. Watch this world without being attached to it. Watch what happens in this world without being attached to anything. So that you will protect your energy. When you stress a lot, you will feel physically weak. That tells you something. If there's something that happens that makes you stress a lot, it literally makes you it will literally make you feel weak physically because you've lost a whole lot of energy. Think of the things that you're stressing about now. If there's something that you're stressing about, I want you to think about it. Should it really stress you? If there's something that you're worried about, should it really worry you? Or you're just being tricked into worrying? Because there's this thing that wants the energy that you produce when you're worried. It gets to a point where it's too easy for it to manipulate you. It doesn't even have to work hard anymore. It figured out how someone like you can be manipulated. Like, this one. And it keeps on manipulating you, keeps on manipulating you. Your job at this point is to awaken, to figure out how to wake up, how to realize the truth. Waking up is realizing the truth. How do I realize the truth? How, not just how do I theorize about it. How do I actually realize it? How do I actually wake up to the truth? You could be in a dream where you kind of feel like it's a dream, but still don't wake up because you haven't fully realized that it's a dream. There's a part of you that's still very attached to what's happening because you don't see that it's a dream. How do you truly wake up? The force that has found a way to attach itself to reality is not really working for us. It's working for itself. And it works more like algorithm. It changes all the time. It's at its own algorithm, actually. It changes because you're also changing. You're also realizing some things that you didn't realize 10 years ago. So it has to find new ways to maintain its control. So your job is to see beyond the illusion. It's to understand that consciousness itself is creating this. It's to understand that there is something that is feeding off negative energy. Understand it fully, understand how it works, and be able to detach yourself from all these negative things that are making you produce negative energy. Or even if you're not detached, but it's to willingly stop yourself from producing negative energy. Because you understand how it works. You see, you produce negative energy because you think the whole thing is real, right? The moment you think that this is real, when weird things happen, you're going to look at it as if these weird things are happening the way that they seem to be happening. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you have a relative, you have a house, you're doing well, you have a relative. This relative is poor. This relative really needs help, and they keep on asking for help, and one day decided, you know what, man, you're gonna come and live with me. I'll help you. This person come and live with you, and then after a few months, they get people to come and rob your house. So they rob your house with these people, and you find out that it's them. How will that make you feel? Of course, it's gonna make you feel angry. Of course, it's going to be unbelievable. How can this person do that? It will feel like something impossible. You'll stress about it. You'll never understand it. But there will be something that you're missing. All of that was planned by this force so that it can get energy from you. Don't look at it the way that you're supposed to look at it. That, oh yeah, I invited this person to stay with me, to help this person. Now I'm a victim because they did this, they did that. I must be angry, I'm traumatized. Yeah, that's what this thing wants. So you realize that no, it wants my energy. That's all that it wants. So it's torturing me in the ways that it's torturing me so that it can get energy from who? Me. It knows how I'm going to feel if someone that I've helped betray me. I'll be confused. I will stress. That's what it wants. It wants you confused. It wants you to stress. So what you do is protect your energy. Deal with the situation while ensuring that your energy is protected. Protect your energy at all cost. You will see this thing start to lose its power. Do not do things with emotions. You'll see this thing start to lose its power. Know that nothing is what it seems. You are being shown things so that this thing will gain energy. Like, look at it this way. Let's say you suffered from schizophrenia and you were seeing things that weren't there. And you knew that. That will mean that the next time you see these things, you don't give them power. So they are there, you see that they're there, but you're not giving them power. You're like, okay, I see this monster right in front of me, but he doesn't exist. Yeah, I hear what he's saying to me. He's telling me to do this and that. I don't want to do it. He's harassing me, blah, 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 but he doesn't exist. He's not real. So I'm not giving him power. You continuously work on not giving this thing power. You see, it loses its power because you're not giving it power. There's a reason why, if you've ever been diagnosed with any kind of mental illness, that so-called mental illness becomes so powerful when you are weak, when you are angry, when you are desperate, when you are sad. That's when these mental illness become powerful. That's when it's able to control you. You see, it's because in those situations that made you angry, you've given a lot of energy, and now you don't have enough energy to protect yourself. You don't have enough energy to be able to control yourself. So this thing is able to get as much energy as it wants from you until it's well fed. It doesn't want you to die. It just wants to be fed. So once it's well fed, once it's fully recharged, it kind of lets you go for a while. Let you meet the love of your life. You know, it's waiting for the time when it no longer has a lot of power, and it's gonna use these things that it allowed you to have to get energy from you. It's gonna start to manipulate situations so that it can get energy from you. And it does that in a way that you don't even see. That is why I'm telling you, please protect your energy. Do not allow yourself to feel these negative emotions that this thing wants you to feel. And you will be all right in the end. So we must be focusing on trying to understand fully what this is by falsifying whatever can be falsified. If something you've already falsified, don't dwell too much on it. There's a reason why I don't talk a lot about religion, you know, anymore. Like, I don't have these videos where the topic is religion itself, you know. It's because I've already realized that the whole thing is not real. So I can't like waste my time on it. So I try to focus on what I'm not able to falsify yet, and keep on testing my theories to see what more I can learn. It's a very important thing to do when trying to understand this thing that we call reality. The more we protect our energy, the better. The more we try to live life lucidly, are you in a lucid dream, the better. If you try to think at the highest level, you'll actually realize something that you might not have even realized before, which is that there's absolutely nothing to worry about. I mean, if you want to worry about something, worry about the fact that you exist and you know nothing. That's it. But the things that are happening, you shouldn't even be attached to them. If you want to worry about something, worry about the fact that you exist. You don't know what's actually going on. But the things that are happening in your life, the small things that are happening, hey, your friend betrayed you, hey, your own mother hates you, hey, this person died, all these things, hey, stop worrying about them. Focus on what you want to focus on. And I'm not a fan of Basho, but one of the best advice that he's given, I think he's a very intelligent dude, by the way, but I'm not really a fan. But there's this video that I came across on TikTok. I said something that I thought was really important. He said, whenever you find yourself in any situation, seek for the highest excitement. Meaning that in any situation that you find yourself in, ask yourself this question: what is the most exciting thing I can do? Because sometimes we do find ourselves in situations that are not good. There are a lot of things that we can do that are exciting, but we don't do these things. We just dwell in our own sorrow, right? You ask yourself, what is the most exciting thing that I can do today? And here's what I've realized, something that's very important actually. If you have a bad day, a really bad day, but then you decide that you're going to do something that is exciting, usually something good is going to happen. Usually because you've already given this thing enough energy. And also because you're not giving it energy. That's another thing. So now it's failing to get energy. And it's becoming powerless. It's trying to find new ways to get energy. So it's either you've given it enough energy, and then now you do the most exciting thing, then it allows you to get what you want because it's already well fed. Think of it like a phone. Let's say there are things that you use for electricity in your room, but you don't have, like, the electricity is not that powerful. So when you're charging your phone, a lot of things can't really work, right? But when your phone is full, it's full, right? You're no longer charging it. So the other things are going to work. So that's how it works, you know? But imagine if whenever you try to charge your phone, it didn't charge. Will you still want to charge it using the same method? No. So whenever this thing tries to get energy from you, you don't give it, you starve it. It must starve. The more it starves, the better. The mistake that you make is that you don't starve it. So it knows that you're always going to be giving it what it wants very easily. So it doesn't even have to lose energy to get energy. it gets to a point where it becomes very powerful because it gets a lot of energy, because you've given it a lot of energy. The idea is to give this thing less energy or no energy at all. It will constantly try to get energy from you. It's gonna be relentless, especially when it's desperate. But if you starve it enough, it will actually become powerless. It's like animals in the wild. If they learn how to dodge predators, then these predators will die. They'll die of starvation, and the more they learn to avoid these predators, the more they starve, the weaker they become. They'll end up acting on desperation because they don't have power anymore. But if we're not smart, this thing can trap us if we starve it enough. So let's say you starve this thing and then you end up becoming a millionaire. Now you forget how this whole thing works. Now you start taking drugs. You start to do a lot of things that this thing is very good. Like you go to territories where this thing is very good at trapping people. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's constantly working and getting energy. So the more it loses its power, the more powerful you become. But when you become powerful, you now use your own power to do things that make it easy for this thing to trap you. Now you end up in jail. The chance that it's gonna try its best to get energy from you. But like, dang, this one is powerful. So we must give him something serious this time. Oh, yeah, I've heard that he's scam people. You use your power to scam people. So you scam people, and this thing realizes that, oh, this is a very great opportunity, and then it gets you caught. And then now you have to do time in prison, and in prison it's hard to not give this thing energy. So now you're giving it a lot of energy, and it becomes powerful again. So be careful when things go well in your life. Still try to maintain, to protect your energy. Wherever you go, protect your energy. Wherever you go, don't allow this thing to trap you. Pay close attention to how it works. It's a very manipulative force. We're talking about a highly manipulate. It can manipulate. It's very good when it comes to manipulation. Realize the kind of energy that you're dealing with. We don't solve reality, the problems that we're facing by doing things, it's not how we solve these problems. These problems will persist. We solve these problems by detaching ourselves, by not feeding whatever is causing these problems. That is it. This force became so good at causing confusion, manipulation. It became very good at these kind of things. So what you need to do is to stop it. When it manipulates you, you don't allow it. Like, you don't react. Do you get what I'm saying? It will try. Of course it will try. Why not? It can. And that is what has always worked for it. So it will try to manipulate you. But imagine if you didn't react at all. Imagine if you only focus on protecting your energy. Someone sent me a text speaking nonsense. Fine. Protect my energy. Like, whenever you're dealing with a difficult situation, focus more on protecting your energy. Usually, these problems will solve themselves. But the more you give your energy, the harder it will be for you to solve these problems. Because you are becoming powerless, and what is creating these problems for you is becoming what? Is becoming powerful. Pay close attention to how this thing really works. I'm telling you, the work that you need to do is within. That's always been the truth. Whether you're dreaming or not, the work that needs to be done is within. Whether you're having a psychedelic experience or not, the work that needs to be done is within. Whether you're hallucinating or not, the work that needs to be done is within. Whether you're in a state of psychosis or not, the work that needs to be done is within. It's you being as detached as possible. It's you not feeding whatever is giving you these negative experiences. Making sure that you starve it, no matter what it tries to do to make you produce energy. What I'm telling you is not easy, but it's the only way. It's something that you need to work on. I don't like crossing when there's big trucks coming. You see what I'm telling you? Like, black people ain't gonna wait for you to pass, bro. The funniest thing ever. Like, you're supposed to wait for people to pass here, but nobody waiting, bro. But the place that I'm telling you about, they'll wait. They'll wait for me to, that I was telling you about, they'll wait for a person to, like, they even tell you to pass. So listen, when you stop, because you want them to pass first, they stop and they say pass. And you're like, what? Because you were there first. So it's interesting. Oh, I know. Thank you all guys for watching this video until the end. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let us keep on growing. Let's talk on Instagram, let's talk on Discord. Let's keep it going. Thank you.